Brahmamir Striparan Takare, Banushashi Bumisuto, Buddhasha Gurusha Shukra, Shani Rahu Keteva, Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. All right, well, greetings, and welcome to another version of Kozmick Kev 100, your weekly astro video zine. This one is for Friday the 13th of May, 2022. Woo! I just had to do that because, you know, some people, did anybody run out of the room or anything scared? I kind of like it when things like that happen. I mean, it's just 1950s style horror, you know, fake blood, fake screams, fake everything. No. But anyhow, we're going to go sign by sign according to the Western zodiac. If you know your rising sign, you'll get a more accurate horoscope than you will with your sun sign. Moon sign works pretty good too, but rising first, then moon, then sun sign, if you know that. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the stars right now and the signs. So right now, today at least, the moon is in the constellation of Virgo going into Libra, and the lunar mansion that the moon is in today is called Shitra, and Shitra is ruled by Vashtar, and Vashtar is the celestial architect, and Vashtar, the Shitra is ruled by Mars, Shitra people. It's, you know, it's half Virgo, half Libra, this particular lunar mansion. Shitra people love colorful clothing, they love artwork, they often have artistic tendencies, and there's a toughness about them because here's the deal. It's like one of the symbols is the pearl in an oyster, and so for a pearl to shine, it has to go through the agitation of the sand and the moving tides to create that valuable gem, and so it is with Shitra. Okay, so that's part of the news this week. So this weekend, though, by tomorrow morning, Moon's going to be in Western Scorpio, and the season of Scorpio. It'll still be in Libra as far as constellation. Moon culminates in Scorpio in both Western and sidereal zodiac Sunday evening at 9:14 p.m. Now, what happens? It's a full moon. And what's the lunar mansion? It's Vishaka. What do we know about Vishaka? Vishaka means forked or branched. So Vishaka is about taking over areas. Vishaka is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Vishaka is 3/4 Libra, 1/4 Scorpio. And we're actually going to be full in the Scorpio portion of it. So the moon will be full in Scorpio in the actual constellation in both systems. And we say that Taurus is the most materialistic and the most sensual sign in the zodiac. And Scorpio is the most transcendental and sexual sign of the zodiac. So there's a real, like, a more loving, creative energy that comes between the energies of Scorpio and Taurus. And that's something you just to be really aware of today. Now, Vishaka, 3/4 Libra, 1/4 Scorpio, has a ruling deity of Indra, who is the god of gods, loves sensual pleasures, never loses in a fight, you know. Some teachers say that Indra rules the Libra portion of Vishaka, whereas since Scorpio is a moksha sign, moksha means liberation from the material stuff, and Libra is a kama sign, wanting connection and physical proximity. Now, this stuff doesn't work in Western astrology, the thing about the kama and the moksha. It's a very, you're in a different situation there. You know, most air signs are caught up in their head, and it's all intellectual in Western. Whereas in the Vedic sidereal zodiac, there is this physical connection that air signs want to have with other people. It's kama, it's connection. So the other thing about the other ruling deity is Agni, the god of fire. And some of my teachers will associate the Scorpio quarter, that last pada of Vishaka, as to Agni. And Agni is the god of truth, fire, and purification. So what happens here in Vishaka is like, it's a triumphant gateway that we all have to pass through. It's also the potter's wheel, where like centrifugal force can easily shape what we're doing and making, and so we have to keep in the center in order not to get thrown off the path. So we've got a triumphant gateway, we've got the potter's wheel, and we also have the oak tree, spreading out in its branches. See, like Vikshaka wants to take over areas. It's like, think about it. Libra and Scorpio, it's Venus and Mars right there. You know, it's all our lust and passion. It's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's just going to expand anything we have. And this is a place in this full moon we've reached kind of like our materialistic potential, and we're realizing, my God, there's got to be more to life than this. And that's where the Agni comes in, the god of fire, god of light, which Agni is also with the nakshatra that the sun's currently in, which is Kritika. So, you know, double Agni. So it's like there's this purification we're going to go through with this full moon. Okay. Without any further ado, sign by sign, here we go. Starting with Western Zodiac style, starting with you, Aries. So, greetings, Aries. So we've got Mars in the 12th house. Now, Mars in the 12th house is great for swimming, and the weather's starting to get hotter and warmer. This is good. This is good. This is going to keep you going. We've got Neptune there. Neptune's great for that. We've got Jupiter in the first house now this whole week. You got to be feeling different, especially if you're a March-born Aries. You know, you're getting the benefit of Jupiter as we go through these next couple of months, and in a big way. Yeah, and so just see what is opening up in your life, what is turning out to be better, because there's a lot of personal growth, but there's going to be good people in your life. You're going to make connections with good people. So that's something to just keep in mind. And in the world of love, you attract love because Venus is in Aries. So people are going to come to you. They're going to express their devotion, and they're going to express their love. All right. Right? Okay. Here we go. Greetings, Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, one thing I can say is that there's a lunar eclipse, you know, on Sunday night. So this renewal, this Agni that was coming with the sidereal interpretation of this full moon, it's certainly legit. And what you're going to see is so much more purification in your own life, especially if you're one of the Tauruses born, you know, from May 11th or so on. You likely have your sun is in Kritika Nakshatra. So you're constantly trying to bring out the truth. You're constantly wanting to digest more information, more good food, and there's a lustiness and there's a heroicness about Kritika Nakshatra in this particular part of Taurus. And it, you know, if it was opposite, if it was a new moon was here, we'd say, oh, this is an exalted moon. But this is the moon where the moon we discover what we're not so happy about. You know, moon becomes debilitated in Scorpio. But this is also in your 7th house of relationship. And so it's like, find out what makes real happiness. You know, real happiness doesn't come from other people or outside events. Real happiness comes from within. The sooner you learn that, the less unhappy you will be. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. So you're the planet of information, and we've got this retrograde Mercury in your 1st house. So there's a lot of information to go over. There's a lot of things to look at. You know, I really didn't know about paid for science that was peer-reviewed until recently, that there's actually peer-reviewed science reports that were actually paid for by a big company and kind of pushed through, and maybe not all the things that happen in their experiments are in the report, but it doesn't matter because it's paid for. We're wanting to see a scientific result that validates a narrative. And that's, you know, when you're really powerful, you can tell a lie enough and people will think it's a truth. And there's some people that are still stuck into something that they probably heard in February of 2020, and they've never been able to get their poor bodies out of it. And it's so sad, because I think by now we all realize we've all been lied to. And, you know, we're clinging on for whatever works still, amidst the lies. I get that, you know. I think that's just part of human nature. You're really in charge of a lot of things in the public more, because this half of the sky is more dealing with the public. And so there's a lot of responsibility, and I think when you're getting really busy and really run, you need to take some time for yourself, just so you're not overrun by what's going on. All right. Well. Greetings, Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so last weekend we started out with the moon in your sign. This weekend, moon's going to be in your 5th house the whole weekend. So this is like kind of a fun weekend where you're enjoying yourself more. If you're a Cancer and you have children, you will want to be involved with their lives this weekend. You're going to be feeling that. You're going to be seeing that. Here's the other thing. Cancer, you now getting Jupiter's transiting your midheaven in the 10th house along with Venus. These are two benefics. These are two gurus. If there was ever a time in your life you could get a promotion at work, if there ever was a time in your life you could get a new job and a better career, it would be now. I would start looking. I would not hesitate. I won't wait for 2 weeks from now for Venus to change signs. I would go now. I would work with this because you can accelerate in your position in life, and it's going to be good for you. And life's a great adventure. You know, with Mars and Neptune in the 9th house, you're ready for an adventure. You might as well enjoy that adventure and bring it forward in any way you can. So, you know, I think for you overall, this is an enjoyable week. We're feeling more free and expansive. That's the good part. Okay, well, greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. So for Leo, Scorpio rules the 4th house. And that's where the full moon's going to be. And so it's a pretty emotionally potent full moon for you. Now, if you're a Leo that had something to do last weekend and you forgot Mother's Day, I'm sure you heard about it. And you will be hearing about it. There's still Father's Day, but people only care about 10% as much for Father's Day for some reason. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, they don't. Phone calls on Mother's Day, they're just off the hook. I mean, and part of it's the culture. We don't raise our boys in American culture. They're mostly, you know, for the military and career, make a lot of money, you know, and all that stuff. It's not like that, you know. And in some ways, I think that it's harder to be responsible because as men, because they don't have breasts that, you know, lactate, and so they're not feeding babies, they're not carrying them before they go, so they don't feel as invested. That's a generalization. A lot of fathers are great, and we want to salute those fathers who are doing well. But on this Mother's Day, it's over, you know, and we've got a full moon weekend. You want to look at yourself as like, what am I bringing to the table emotionally? This is also a really fertile moon too, so if you didn't get your gardening done last week, this weekend is great for the garden. And, you know, everything's going to sprout out beautiful that you plant this weekend, you know. And yeah, I could say there's a big cash crop in this part of the country. I think a lot of people will plant this weekend. They know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's right. And, you know, I think it's part of it too, Leo, is just being patient, you know. There's a lot of things that don't always go the way we want it to, you know, in our career, in our home life, in our work life. And, you know, since Uranus has been conjoining the sun too in your workplace, maybe there were some sudden things that things got a little bit derailed, you know, or changed. And so you have to be innovative and adapt a new plan. And, yeah, Mercury's still retrograde, and it's retrograde in your 11th house, so maybe like there's a big party you were looking forward to and suddenly they had to cancel it and change plans, you know, that could be another thing that happened. But overall, just focus on beautifying things, you know, where you are, doing the good creative karma, because that's going to bring you the most joy and success. Well, greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. Now, Taurus time is a great time for Virgo because it's in the luckiest house, the 9th house. 9th house is the house of our father, it's the house of our teachers, it's the house of foreign travel, foreign cultures, and it's a mind expanding house, and it really has a lot of good fortune and good luck. It's really the house that kicks off our career life because of what we've learned there in the ninth house, or what benefic situations have arose for us in that ninth house. So we make things good with our father in the ninth house. We make things good with our mother in the fourth house. For Virgo, this full moon in Scorpio is the third house. Third house is more like siblings and friends we grew up with, neighbors. You know, if the neighbors get a little rowdy Sunday night, I would not be surprised because it is a full moon, and you know, we all know somebody who doesn't have good boundaries and doesn't really understand that other people often need to sleep. Or go to work the next day or something like that. So, you know, you might just kindly encourage those people, hey, we're in a relationship with each other and we want it to be good. So if you just keep it a little bit on the down low, everything will be happy. Everything will be good, you know, and you can pick another time to get all outrageous and assault your liver for the weekend or whatever it is you need to do. You know, that's how it goes. And Mercury is affecting your workplace because of the midheaven, you know, being there in the 10th house. So you want to look at those type of things. There's constant changes happening, and relationships overall are changing. You don't have all the power, but that's okay. Relax, because you know what? There's some other people that have the power. They're actually good people. You're going to enjoy this. Enjoy the ride, Virgo. Hello, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. Now, you know, Taurus is different than Libra because Taurus is pretty much straightforward and isn't fickle-minded. You know, Libra is a much more fickle-minded Venus, so you don't get Taurus. You might find them a little bit intimidating because they're stubborn, you know, but at the same time, they have good values, you know, because second house is about our values. So we really like Taurus for good values. Since Taurus occupies the 8th house for Libra, the 8th house is other people's money, other people's property. And so it's kind of like you have to lay low. Now, you know, Mercury in Gemini is not too bad for Libra. It's 9th house. That means that you're getting some higher information during this Mercury retrograde period. And you want to focus on that. And Venus and Jupiter in the 7th house, it's like you couldn't be happier in relationship right now than you are. You know, and even if you're not in relationship, just friends, people you're hanging out with, things should mostly be pretty good right now. That's what I'm thinking. This full moon in Scorpio, heck yeah, it could bring money. It could bring money. It could bring other family situations. It might be a sleepover for your kids or something, because a lot of times relatives try to manipulate us sometimes in the second house. This is some deep, wild astrology stuff. We'll get into it later on. But yeah, all in all, I think you're going to be doing good, and enjoy, you know, the moon's in Libra tonight. Enjoy that Libra moon on a Venus day. Now we shall turn to the sign of Scorpio. So, greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. Now, you know, Taurus and Scorpio interface each other, and they do have some similarities. But, you know, Scorpio kind of a sign that's ruled by Mars, but also has this implication with Pluto in the Western zodiac, which is transformation. So there's two things. The thing that's different is, like, Taurus is very settled, very feminine, very receptive. You know, Scorpio is both masculine and feminine. The water is very ultimately feminine and receptive and imaginative, but Mars is like, hey, we want to do something about this. We're taking action, you know, it's lusty and risk-taking. So Scorpio within itself has to find a balance. Taurus is about satisfaction. Scorpio is aware about desire, which in a lot of ways desire is about what we're not satisfied with. However, the desire of Scorpio brings this other thing, this implication of creativity. I create is the modern word for Scorpio. And so relationship is big in Taurus time for Scorpio. And when Tauruses and Scorpios get together in relationship, it's very hard for them to break up. They usually stay together forever because there's just a consistency. They're both fixed signs, and so they don't get out of that relationship easy, and they're both sensual, sexual, so that part usually works out good for them. I'm sure there's a lot of exceptions to the rule, so there's a little bit of a danger to this kind of thing, and I like to keep people informed with that. So there's surprises in relationships, and I think with Uranus and Rahu in your seventh house, K2 in the first house, the south node, it's like we just walk gently. We walk prayerfully because there's just a lot of karma and a lot of weird stuff going on and things to do with money. I would not do any investments right now, Scorpio. I would just chill out until this whole Mercury retrograde thing is over. Yes. Anyhow, we're going into the land of Sagittarius right now. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Jupiter and Aries with Venus in the fifth house. Yay! Celebrate good times. Come on. Yeah! This is good. Sun in Taurus, that's your sixth house. Okay, that's uncles and aunts, small pets, obstacles, people we work with, having some kind of health issues, allergies, whatever. That's what you're dealing with. It's important to look at that stuff right now. So it's, we've got a little bit of good, we've got a little bit of challenge. We've got a full moon in Scorpio the next day. That Monday at work, moon's going to be in Sagittarius. So, moon in Sagittarius, it's about, who's doing good in baseball. I mean, it's philosophy, the value of having rivals. This is like the type of things, this is like how a really diehard Giants fan or a Cleveland Browns fan will say about their rival teams. It's important to have rivals, I guess. I think that there's always a spirit of competition somewhere. We're going to see it, and this is a more introspect time for you, for the most part. Once we get past Monday, you are going to put yourself out, and it's also the kind of time sixth house transits can help us make money too. It's a house of material stuff. It's an earth house, so look forward to that. All right, let us move over to Capricorn. Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, Pluto in the first house, it gives you insights. Sun's going through your fifth house. Fifth house is fun, but there's Uranus and there's the North Node. So let's say you're a Capricorn parent or Capricorn moon parent or Capricorn rising parent, and you're worried about your kids getting into drugs or hanging out with the wrong crowd. I would say with these aspects right now, there's a possibility that could be it, or just things that are weird. There are certain things that are life-saving drugs, and then there's life-changing drugs. Sometimes the life-changing drugs aren't as necessary as the life-saving drugs, but sometimes people say the life-changing drug is going to help you have a better life and that your life will actually be saved. So it's like, you're walking on rice paper, grasshopper. If you can walk barefoot through the snow, no matter what your decision is, you will make it. And I mean barefoot through the snow without leaving any footprints. That is the way of the Shaolin warrior. You're going to have to get a little bit zen, a little bit gentler in your practice to get through this. I mean, you're in your heart, and so this is a lucky place, and it's a place of love. But we got to take one for the team, for young people, and realize that there's a lot of complexities going on that we don't know about, but there's powerful monetary forces that want to manipulate our children into doing things to themselves that they may later on regret. And I think that's important to keep that in mind, so that we have always options and not to do anything, not to encourage our kids to do anything that they'll regret later on. And so, but you're in a place of introspection. All the planets are down here. So it's your personal life, it's your family, your brothers and sisters, your home life. In fact, like if you have personal assets, if you were trying to sell like a car or a house right now as a Capricorn, I'd say you'll make bank. You'll do really good. It's like for you, it's a seller's market because of your fixed assets. Or if you're trying to buy something, I think you'll do good, an investment I told Sagittarius not to invest. You, on the other hand, you've got your feet on the ground. You'll make a good investment. And yeah, I mean, Capricorn in the first, Saturn rather in the first house, you just take your time, with everything. And don't jump impulsively into anything. All right. Greetings, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Saturn in the first house. It's like when Saturn goes in the first house, you're aware what depresses you. You're aware how you need to work hard, how you need more older people and experienced people in your life to give you guidance. You want to do things that represent something that's built to last and is real. You may have temporary bouts of depression or restrictions or something, Just stay with it and be patient. This full moon is going to affect your workplace. So if you're a Aquarius rising or Aquarius sun, Aquarius moon, and you have to work this weekend, oh yeah, lunatics will be out. They will come. They will come. You never have to worry. And but you can keep a calm persona during it all and help them, calm them down. It's like if somebody's hallucinating something that seems to be a falsehood, just agree with them. Just let it, well, that must be hard. If you're feeling that and you're thinking that, something, what is that like for you? And just do a little discovery rather than go, no, that's not what's happening. That never works, although that tends to be the reaction. Just go, oh, wow, how is that for you? Something like that's a little bit better. And so, I would say, with Uranus in your fourth house, it's like there's this, it's supposed to be stable at home, but it's a little weird. It's a little bit windy, it's a little bit electrically with the North Node and Uranus there. So it's like some time, ritual work to make things more peaceful. That would be my advice for Aquarians this week. And finally, Pisces, the wind-up and the pitch. Greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope. We've got Jupiter and Venus in your second house. So that brings wealth. That brings a beautiful voice. If you want to take voice lessons, this would be the time. Your wonderful voice will come out during this transit of Venus and Jupiter together in Aries. The home front, the neighborhood, that's Taurus for you. Taurus rules the neighborhood. Rules brothers and sisters and siblings. So most of you should have peaceful relationships with siblings. Not always, but, in peaceful relationships with your neighbors. I think that overall, I find, at least for myself personally, is true. And, having that kind of relationship with people that brings out the best in them. You want to stabilize things. Now, things could be weird. If you got Uranus and the North Node in your third house, you probably have weird neighbors. I'm thinking of some of my friends. I don't know a lot of Pisces rising people, but I know a few. And so there's been changes in that department. That might not be as easy to deal with. This full moon in Scorpio should be happy because it's going to go into your ninth house. Ninth house brings good fortune, brings good opportunities, brings a lot of happiness. And I see you just flowing, working with your mediums as far as art goes, or, I guess your psychic mediums if you're one of those kind of Pisces. And, pay attention to your dreams. You've got more courage than usual. And, You're kind of responsible to get rid of the evil. And I guess it's through acceptance and kindness. That's your main operation there, and faith. Well, that is it for me for this week of the Cosmic Forecast, Cosmic Kev 100. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you see this on YouTube. Share it with a friend. Ring the bell notification. I love your comments. Keep them coming. Much love to you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat.